This is the Relevant Podcast.
It's episode 1044, and this is the Relevant Podcast. Here in Orlando, I'm your host, Cameron Strang, and joining me from Lumberland, Virginia, is Jesse Carey.
Hello, hello.
From Nashville, Tennessee, artist, producer, mogul, Derek Miner.
What's happening?
And just down the road, our managing editor, downtown, Emily Brown.
Hey, y'all.
Emily, do you live in downtown? Like, do I need to say suburban Emily Brown moving forward?
Midtown, Emily Brown.
No,
Uptown.
I'm like super
Uptown?
south Nashville. Like
Southtown?
I have a Nashville address, but I can get to like Brentwood pretty quickly.
So
I'm
south
like
of
South
town,
Nashville.
Emily Brown is what we're going with
South
now.
of town. Yeah.
South of town.
Just keep
Emily
expanding.
Emily Brown. Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't get too
Got it.
specific though, because I don't want people to show up where I live.
Big facts.
Emily,
Big
Emily,
facts.
I have a question. Last Tuesday, 1 week ago today, was Valentine's Day. And you announced your plans to the staff. Would you like to share them with us?
Yeah, I had the time of my life on Valentine's Day. One of the best nights all year because I ate a decent amount of Kit Kats and watched my favorite rom-com, How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days.
Nice. Sounds like
was
a
a
win
great-
to me.
It was a great Tuesday. I mean, aside from the copious amounts of chocolate, pretty standard Tuesday night for me, but
Yeah.
I had a great time. Quite
I
memorable.
was going to say, if staying up late eating junk food and watching movies from the early aughts is, I mean, if that's a holiday, then I'm living the best life ever because that happens
Then
all the time.
every day's a holiday.
I do have this thing about Valentine's Day though, which is it's the candy situation. I feel like we gotta figure out a solution here because these heart boxes they're getting it's more and more. It is moving to just a fun size situation where it's a heart shaped box just full of Kit Kat bars or Reese's or whatever, right? Like it used to be like you sample these kind of interesting flavors. Now I feel like it's just giving you about 3 weeks worth of candy. You might as well just give someone a fun size bag like they do at Halloween. The portions are just out of control because now I'm nursing Kit Kats for like 3 straight weeks. Just give me one good candy because otherwise I got a big problem on my hand, which I'm going to have no self-control. If you give me a 4-pound thing of Kit Kats, guess what? I'm slowly making my way through those. Don't you feel like the whole heart-shaped thing since the fun size candies have taken over Valentine's Day? It was supposed to be a weird exotic candies that half taste like toothpaste and weird fruits, but that was part of the fun of it. You just power through and experiment.
Why
Now,
are you eating all the candy? It's the guys buying candy for their
I'm
girls.
confused.
Why are you? Who's buying you hearts?
listen, if candy's in my house,
no,
it's
hold-
a fair game. Okay. Okay.
Oh, so you buy the candy for your wife and then you eat
She
it?
doesn't want it. She doesn't want it, but I got to do it. I'm obligated to do it.
You
I'm
know
not going to
what?
throw it away.
We ran a thing last week on the site that a study
Yeah.
came out that women don't want the cheesy cliche gifts. They don't want the heart-shaped candy, the heart box of candy. They don't want flowers. They don't whatever. They want thoughtful presents. And literally a study came out that said over 20% of women have considered leaving their partner after getting cheesy gifts given to them on Valentine's Day. Like, this is it.
What?
You don't-
Wait, what?
Yeah. Like you're
That's a lot.
not thoughtful enough. You don't know me.
That's
You
a
just
lot.
went to the drugstore and bought this
I
crap.
will say that's probably like the final nail in the coffin. I don't think it's like everything's good. They got a box of chocolates and then they're out. But it was
Yeah,
probably
I'm like,
leading
that's okay, Emily. Thank you for breaking that down because I'm like, that's a lot.
Yeah. I think there's a few factors there.
I mean, so Jesse, I'm just telling you, if your wife doesn't want the candy, don't buy her candy.
No.
Then you eat it later.
Listen, there's a hierarchy to these things, okay? Valentine's, Easter, St. Patty's Day are all acceptable drugstore gift holidays. I would say the same thing about a white elephant exchange at like an office Christmas party, okay? Then you get
Valentine's
into
is supposed to be more thoughtful, man.
Listen, drugstores have a great selection these days, okay? You can buy,
They have
as we
pajamas.
established in recent episodes, you can buy pajamas at Rite Aid, okay? There's no reason. You can
Did
go,
you
I can go in
only
there.
get your wife a box of chocolates or did you get something else?
Emily, that is a personal question. And Like material gifts, or are you talking about better like spiritual?
They also
emotional
literally
gifts?
listen on the list. It was like women were like, I don't want a coupon book of like chores and affection. I don't want, like, they listed all the stuff that the guys who are scrambling at the last minute all do. So like,
what do y'all want then? Like that's
thoughtful
for
gifts. They want
Listen
thoughtful
to
gifts.
your
Like,
wife.
Give me a
They
thoughtful
don't-
gift.
it's not even like monetary. The study was serious about this. Like, it's not about how much you spend. It's about the thoughtfulness and the individuality of it. Like, I know you, so I'm going to get you this thing that I know will mean a lot to
Man,
you.
Here's the
too
question.
It's too much
It is
pressure
too
out
much.
here. We just did
I don't mind
Thanksgiving.
a single guy.
We just did Christmas. We just did New Year's. You know what I'm saying? And Black History Month. You know what I'm saying? For
Super
those of you that are
Bowl
partaking.
party, yeah.
Super Bowl. Man, I ain't got time to be doing no science project on Valentine's Day. So you go take this little candy.
I do not understand how I'm the only single guy in this group.
You tried too hard, bro. You
I tried too hard.
You gotta be like me.
I give
bro.
thoughtful gifts, and therefore I get
That's it.
rejected.
Hey,
Oh.
look, man, you know
That's
the
actually kinda
women
true.
like the bad guys, bro. They try to. You gotta be fixable. You
Yeah.
gotta.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
want
you
to
see
fix
it?
you.
Yeah,
Oh,
you're over-
he's so stupid. He keeps buying me candy from
You
Rite
gotta
Aid.
be fixable.
Oh,
That's
my
what
God.
it
That's
is.
right, Cameron. You're
We just
overthinking
turned
it.
this to a red pill podcast with Kevin Samuels.
Because you got some like homemade thing.
I hate this.
Exactly. You got some like thoughtful, thing that reminder of the great memory from the childhood. Meanwhile, other guys are out buying, a giant thing, a Sour Patch that happens to be in a heart-shaped box.
And a teddy bear holding a little heart. Yeah.
Yes.
Here's another question. Why is it that on holidays like this, Amazon gift cards are becoming more and more appropriate? Okay. No one, someone ends up with it at the White Elephant Exchange. Someone ends up with the Amazon gift card. That thing's getting stolen, right?
They're happy.
Why is it we can give those? Where you give cash, you look like a sociopath. Like,
I already told
you gave me
y'all.
$12. What is this?
I already told y'all what my love language is. Look,
Give me
if you
cash.
just run out of ideas, if you like, man, I don't know what Derek would want. Give me the green. I want the money. Like, give me the green. I don't even want an Amazon gift card because I might want to stop by the gas station and buy me some Sour Patch Kids. So just go on it.
I don't care if they're in a heart-shaped box either. Sour Patch Kids or Sour Patch Kids.
Heart-shaped box, it don't matter. It's going to be all the same when it go to my stomach. You know what I'm saying? So,
I'm
hey.
gonna say a prayer for y'all's wives.
The Ghirardelli chocolate people aren't even trying either. They just get
No,
like
they not.
excess flavors and throw them in a heart-shaped box. They're not
All the
they're-
stuff they couldn't sell. They
Exactly.
Put it
It's
into
like,
a hard box.
it's just
Yeah.
the caramel collection. Well, maybe
Yeah.
it's because no one wanted the little mint ones. That's why we got a whole heart-shaped box of Valentine's Day. The
Mhm.
Ghirardelli just looks at it as like overstock day, It's not like
So
they're
Valentine's
branded
is
Valentine's.
the TJ Maxx of the candy industry. It's like all the stuff that couldn't sell in the department stores goes to TJ Maxx. So you're saying that's what the heart-shaped
Yep.
boxes are. It's just
Wrap
all
in
the
some
leftover
cellophane, put a little foil on there, you're
excess
good.
inventory.
Yeah.
That makes sense. We couldn't sell it at Christmas, so we'll put it in a heart box and offload the inventory 6 weeks later. That's what it
Then you
is.
got Easter coming. You just put it in a big egg and sell it. Big plastic egg.
Just change the shape. of
The
it.
shape, change the shape of the container, and don't mess with the product at all, including the wrapper.
Jesse, you actually are probably right, bro.
You're
That's what
probably
I'm
right,
saying.
You
dude.
actually are probably right.
Think about it. Think about this. After Christmas, all the leftover candy, the industry was like, what do we do with this? So they manufactured the Hallmark holiday Valentine's Day for 6 weeks later because the candy's still fresh enough to sell it, and we can just repackage it, remarket it.
Just put it in big plastic egg.
That's exactly what they did.
Because actual Valentine's Day is terrifying when you know like what the actual origins is.
The
It's like,
massacre.
they used to sacrifice like goats and dogs and whip women. I'm like, what in the world was they doing? And why did we make this a holiday? Like,
I like to picture like a big boardroom at the top of like a skyscraper in Manhattan where all the big wigs from Ghirardelli and Hershey's are just sitting around and like, we got any new products this year? No,
It's
we're
like
just
the
putting in.
it's like the candy Illuminati. You're saying
Yeah.
there's like a secret boardroom, a consortium.
They're like, are
where
we
they
finally ready to unveil the new flavor? They're like, no, not this year. I think we'll just put in an egg again in April, and after we run out of heart boxes. Like literally, they haven't innovated. We have got new flavors since I was a kid buying candy. It's the same candy. There's no new ones coming out. They figured it
that's
out.
a fact.
I just
That's
think
a
it's funny
fact.
that you keep buying your wife candy as a present. She doesn't even want it because you know you'll be able to eat it afterwards. You've hacked the
I'm
system.
praying for y'all's wives.
It's it's really symbiotic of marriage. You different love languages. You find a way.
All right. Well, we have a great show in store for you today. Coming up later, Eugene Cho joins us. Man, he's a hero. We also have at the end of the show round 2 of Worship or Wooing, staying with the love theme. If you heard last week's show, it was great. And right now, stay tuned. Up next, it's Slices. You're listening to M83. The song is Amnesia. So you might forget that song. Today's podcast is brought to you in part by Mercy Ships. Globally, 5 billion people lack access to surgical care. In sub-Saharan Africa, there's only one surgeon for every 200,000 people. Mercy Ships provides free, life-transforming surgeries for people who have little to no access to medical care. They help the blind see, straighten twisted limbs, remove deadly tumors, treat cleft conditions, and so much more. With state-of-the-art hospital ships, they provide safe surgery to children and adults living with treatable conditions, and it's completely free of charge. They do all this work with an all-volunteer crew of professionals who donate their time and talents. Surgeons, stewards, nurses, engineers, and more make the world a better place. Your donation today provides free, safe surgeries to people in desperate need of help. All gifts are matched, so please donate today at mercyships.org/relevant. Today's podcast is brought to you in part by Tim Tebow's book, Look Again. Have you ever wondered what would change if you truly believed you were infinitely valuable to God? In his New York Times bestselling book, Look Again, Tim Tebow reveals the powerful truth that when we learn to see the image of God in every person, including those we struggle to love, everything changes. Tebow shares incredible stories from his work with people the world often overlooks, and it will challenge you to stand up to the lies, rediscover the worth that everyone has, and impact the world for good. Find Look Again by Tim Tebow, available now wherever books are sold. Okay, it's time for
Slices.
What do you have, Jesse?
All right, so this is an interesting slice, but I didn't find it personally all that surprising. I'm interested to see if you guys do. This is a new study conducted by a group called Social Catfish. And it found that there is a demographic that is actually much, much more likely to be scammed for money online than senior citizens. Does anyone know what that demographic is?
Yes, because we ran this on relevantmagazine.com.
This is terrible.
It is
actually hilarious. I love this.
It is individuals under the age of 20 years old. The most tech-savvy generation in history is also the most likely to get scammed by a massive, massive margin. The scams that were run on that demographic that were successful for scamming them out of money rose by over 1,000% in the last 5 years. During that time, okay, let me say this. In 2021, when, kind of the last full year of research they have, that demographic lost over $10 million to online scams. Now, the experts behind it say, look, it's the generation that got very comfortable on TikTok and social media platforms and are very comfortable interacting with strangers on social media and have seemed, to have a high level of trust and are very susceptible to online scams, especially in kind of like on Twitch or when it involves like gaming or exchanging kind of financial information for some sort of recreational site. I find this really interesting, but not all that surprising, because I feel like it's not like I don't hang out with a lot of people like in their, under the age of 20,
Teens.
but I do when I'm with people who even have kids who are teenagers. It seems like, and this isn't restricted to young people, but I think there's two things. I think one, young people tend to be very earnest like just trusting. Like they're not as like cynical and jaded. Like I feel like that's one thing millennials have going for us. We are super cynical and super jaded, and we've always been like that. It's not that we're too smart to get scammed. We're too cynical and jaded to trust anyone on the internet. Like, I think honestly, part of it is just like the earnestness of kind of a younger generation that is very optimistic. That's just my sort of like,
well,
analysis.
but read some of the scams that they fall for. Some of it is just like getting baited and trapped, and like they're being forced.
Yeah, some
like
of it,
coerced.
Some
like
of it's like really dark stuff, like basically
Yeah.
online versions of extortion, right? Like
Right.
someone getting catfish or sending compromising images or personal information and being blackmailed. So some of it
Yeah,
is
and so
really
they're saying
dark
like,
stuff.
they're in an online relationship. They share inappropriate photos, and then the person says, "I'm going to put this out publicly if you don't give me $10,000." So the teenager, out of fear and desperation, pays the bribe, or pays.
So the moral of the story is, I think everyone just needs to exercise a little more caution online. But my sort of like deeper level reading is, this is the only time it's paid to be a cynical, jaded millennial who never wasn't part of the generation that would post dance videos online. I appreciate their earnestness, but have a little degree of discretion when interacting with strangers on the internet.
That's interesting. Yep. All right. What do you have, Derek?
Well, since we on Gen Z, let's go ahead and let's crack it open. Gen Zers don't like driving. So I had no clue. First of all,
how do they get around?
Well, first of all, I remember how important it was to have my driver's license.
Dude,
like
the morning of my 16th birthday, I was in line.
It was so important. Like, it was like, yo, we have to do this, et cetera, et cetera. No, that's not happening anymore. Well, Gen Zers, the main reason why it would seem is that we have stuff like Uber, and then also Gen Zers get together a lot without having to leave the house, right? We get FaceTime,
like online together,
you got online video games, you got TikTok, DMs back and forth. So a lot of time it's like, yo, we rather just kick it at the crib with our headset on and talk to each other from the house. But also speaking to what, man, Cameron really loves you Gen Zers. I'm just gonna say that because our group chat, we talk a lot, and I'm like a grumpy old man, but he's like, no, Gen Zers, they're fighting for our future, and et cetera, et cetera. So a lot of that is also Gen Zers are opting to take public transportation. They're opting to take bikes, do e-bikes, things like that, rather than hopping in a car, getting a driver's license and messing up the ozone layer. So, man, shout out to Gen Zers, man. You know what I mean? Like, y'all need to start kicking it in person a little bit more, though. I'm concerned about you, but, besides that.
Sitting on their screens.
I think another part of it, too, is because I wasn't necessarily getting my license at 16 right away. And part of that was because I didn't have a car. And so there wasn't like this urgency to get my license. And I think a lot of just like we've talked about, things are more expensive. So it's like, if I don't have a car that I know I can drive around, I'm probably not going to feel that urgency to get my license, because it's like, well, I'm just going to have this document for what, it's just, so I think that might be a factor too, is like, just, it's, if you don't have a car, might as well just use an Uber, or like you said, like just talk with your friends at home and stuff. I think there's like a lot of different factors, but
really
it is interesting
sad that we've got to a place where stuff is so expensive that you can't go just get a beat up car. Like, we used to go get a beat up car. Mom would go grab it. It probably lasts like a year and a half, but at least you had it. You know what I'm saying? From a lot, you can't even go do that. Like, you got to spend an arm and a leg just to get a starter car. Like, that's not cool, man. We got to figure this out for real. The pleasure of joyriding on the back roads in Tennessee, y'all need to understand that feeling. Like, that feeling was an amazing feeling. I want y'all to have that, not knowing if you're going to run out of gas, not knowing if your car going to break down because the oil light is on. Y'all need to experience that. Like, that's a fun thing to experience.
Beater cars were so common. I had two roommates who, when they moved and they moved to state, they just left the car. They drove it to a parking lot and just left it. And that was it. It was like, I don't know.
I specifically know one of those guys. That is absolutely
I know
what he
two
did.
of those people because at that point, honestly, Derek, you're right. It was like you can cobble together like $800 with a couple buddies. You can buy a car that's going to last you like 6 months. And when it breaks down, not your problem. Just take the plates, scrape the VIN number, and leave it in the parking lot. Somebody else's problem. And guess what? Someone else probably going to buy that thing for about $200 next time around. Those cars just don't exist anymore.
Like that was such a crazy time, man. Like, I mean, I hate that stuff is that expensive that you can't even just, man, I used to go on Craigslist and buy cars all the time. That's all I would do. I go on Craigslist. I'm like, if it, my criteria was.
You could just trade. Look, I got a bunch of Sour Patch and a Heart Box. And
let me get a car straight up.
All right. Okay. Fair deal.
Straight up.
All right. What do you have, Emily?
I want to talk about Chick-Fil-A has introduced a cauliflower sandwich. Have y'all seen this?
Not into it. No, actually, it sounds pretty fire. I ain't gonna lie. It sounds
so. It's
fire.
exactly like their chicken sandwich, but
right,
the breast
it's a fried
is
cauliflower sandwich. Like the chef that developed it said that he wanted it to taste like Chick-fil-A. So I haven't tried it. It's only available at select locations, but from what they're saying, it tastes like Chick-fil-A sandwiches. And so, and it like even looks like it, but it's made of cauliflower.
Look, cauliflower's an underrated veggie. It is a
I wish 3
underrated.
years ago
Very
I would have
much.
bought cauliflower stock. I mean, who saw it coming to pizza crusts, rice?
Yeah.
You know, now chicken sandwiches, like cauliflower can do everything. Like good for cauliflower.
I wish there was like on the New York Stock Exchange. You just see the ticker go by and it says CLF and like arrows up, like, oh man, cauliflower's
For
through the
sure.
roof right now. Cauliflower just had a big IPO. I don't know if you guys saw that open for like $3 billion.
Dude, I would have bought in.
I'm interested.
cauliflower,
I'm
man.
actually interested.
I'm intrigued
interested.
because I
Yeah.
love fried cauliflower. It's really
For sure.
good. So it's like if they make us, and
it's like a good
You'd be
alternative.
making that
Like-
cauliflower dividend right now. Now they pay you in cauliflower for the dividends, but still, you got plenty of cauliflower. Dip that in some
Anyway.
ranch. Not a bad snack. I'm telling you, it's an underrated veggie.
That actually
So
does
when
sound
can
really
we
good.
when can we eat this, Emily? Like where it's just in some test markets right now.
They're testing it out at a few different places around the country. If everything goes well, it might be they're estimating probably within the year at some point. So it'll probably slowly
like
be
it.
introduced to more and more places. But also very important because we've been talking about economic stuff. Only $6.59. So that's actually a very cheap sandwich. So
Yeah, considering the Chick-fil-A #1 is like gonna pull $13 now. It's like
yeah.
come on.
That is wild. When we saying a sandwich, 2 pieces of bread and some meat is $6.
Well, no,
Like-
cauliflower, 2 pieces of bread and a
not
vegetable.
even meat
Yeah.
and a vegetable is
Yeah.
$6.
Yeah, and we're saying that's a good deal.
And minimum wage is $7.25.
Yeah, you got to work 50 minutes to eat that piece of vegetable. Anyway, all right. Well, that'll do it for Slices. There's more where that came up if you want to go check out more at relevantmagazine.com. All right, stay tuned. Up next, Eugene Cho joins us.
Come take me into the deep end. Show me how to let go. Like flowing water, we can go farther. Oh, I made it so much harder than it has to be. 'Cause I've gotta want it and feel like going. We can go till nothing is. I'm sure we can. It's coming in phases. It keeps moving, waiting for us.
You're listening to Dayglow. The song is Deep End. Cannot wait. It's almost time to swim in weather again. I like the deep end.
Today's podcast is brought to you in part by John Mark Comer's book, Garden City, a book that speaks to the tension we all feel between work, rest, and purpose. The New York Times bestselling author John Mark Comer takes us to the scriptures to identify what it really means to be human and flips the script on the idea that who you are matters, not what you do. He shows that God created us for meaningful work and meaningful rest. Both matter. This book helps you ask and answer the big questions. Does God care where I work? Is there a direction for my life? So you can discern God's heart for your calling, your rhythms, and the way His Spirit wants to shape every part of your life. If you're longing for purpose and a more grounded way to live, check out the new hardcover edition of Garden City wherever books are sold.
Well, today's show is brought to you in part by the new book, God, the Science, the Evidence.
We talk a lot about faith, but how often do we talk about science in the same breath? You might be surprised to discover just how deeply the two actually agree. For centuries, science has been used to dismiss the idea of God, but today an intellectual revolution is underway. Modern discoveries in physics, cosmology, and biology are consistently revealing the same truth: creation isn't an accident. That profound reversal is what engineers Michel-Yves Bolloré and Olivier Bonassi investigate in their international bestseller, God, the Science, the Evidence. This book is a rigorous, evidence-based critique of materialism, inviting you to explore over a dozen scientific, philosophical, and historical domains. It shows that what was once seemed impossible, that science could point to a creator, is now supported by a vast and convergent body of evidence. With over 400,000 copies sold in Europe, this book is sparking a global debate. It's thoughtful, fascinating, and a powerful reminder that reason itself affirms the existence of God. Learn more and find out where you can purchase your copy today by visiting godthesciencetheevidence.com. Today's podcast is brought to you in part by Erwin McManus's book, The Barbarian Way. Some books don't just inspire you, they confront you. The Barbarian Way, now celebrating its 20th anniversary, is one of those books. If you felt the pull of God towards something deeper and wilder than the safe, predictable version of faith that we settle for, McManus reminds us that following Jesus was never meant to be tame. It's meant to awaken courage, passion, and purpose God placed inside us. He draws from the wild stories of Abel, Noah, Moses, Rahab, and others to remind us that following God wasn't meant to be tame. Safe faith isn't working. Step into the story God is writing for you. Choose passion, choose boldness, choose The Barbarian Way. Available now wherever books are sold.
Where our guest today is Eugene Cho. He's a pastor and author, and now the president and CEO of Bread for the World, a Christian advocacy group seeking to address world hunger. We sat down with him to discuss the hunger crisis, what's happening, and what we can do to help end it, and the importance of advocacy in that. So here's our conversation with Eugene Cho.
I'd love to know, what is Bread for the World doing specifically to just help with families that are in need right now and that can't afford food?
Gosh, we are showing up every single day in the halls of power where decisions are being made, and we're trying to humanize hunger and poverty in our nation and around the world. When there's so much chaos, we're trying to remind people there are children that are still hungry in our country. Specifically, there's approximately 11, 12 million children in our nation who are hungry. That around the world, there's 45 million people on the brink of starvation around the world. And so we're constantly having these conversations with members of Congress, with the administration, urging for certain policy, certain legislation that we believe, not just anecdotally, but through evidence-based research that we know makes a difference. Whether it's SNAP, which is modern day food stamp program, whether it's the child tax credit, whether it's relief and aid for certain hunger hotspots around the world. There's numerous things that we're working on. One last thing that I'll just say, and I'm sure you'll have lots of follow-up questions, but from the last time you and I chatted, I was talking about this bill that we have been working on called the Global Malnutrition Prevention and Treatment Act. It's not our name, so don't send me any angry emails, but the Global Malnutrition Prevention and Treatment Act. We have been working on that one bill for 5 years. 5 years. And 2 years in passing a nutrition resolution, which was passed, and then 3 years specifically for this bill, which prioritizes, elevates the importance of nutrition alongside food security. And this one bill was signed into law, went through Congress, went through both the House and the Senate, and was signed into law by the president on October 19th, 2022. And so this will impact tens of millions of women and children around the world. But I take a moment to highlight that you're working on things years at a time. It's a marathon. And it's because we keep showing up during these particular processes in the halls of power. That kind of gives you a glimpse of some of the things that we're doing.
Yeah, I think that is such a great overview. And one thing that I have always really appreciated about Bread for the World is, like you said, you guys aren't, you're not like falling to a political side or a political ideology. You are really focusing on the policies at hand of pursuing laws that really benefit everyone on all sides and stuff, which I think is so important and so appreciated. I'm sure that's also very hard to play the political game in a very bipartisan world, or very bipartisan America. So I do not envy you for having to go to all those meetings.
Well, on that note, please say a prayer for me and say a prayer for Bread for the World. I'm actually very serious. I think, I hope that those that are listening to this podcast, folks that are following Relevant, we believe in prayer. We're people of faith. Our ultimate allegiance isn't to left or right. It isn't to Republican or Democrats. Our ultimate allegiance is to the kingdom of God. And we know that God has an inclination, a proclivity. God has a deep heart for those who are experiencing hardship and hunger and poverty. And sometimes we can make either the theological mistake that people are, quote unquote, poor or hungry because they're lazy. We fall into these myths that exist sometimes. And then certainly we are living in a very polarized world. And so, as you noted, Bread for the World, as a nonpartisan organization, we're committed to working in bipartisan ways, not just because it is part of our identity, but we also know that when bills are supported in bipartisan ways, they have more of a possibility to endure past administrative changes, right? Every 2 or 4 years, when there are changes in decision-making halls of power, what ends up happening is people stop quitting things or changing things. One of the best examples of a bipartisan bill was something called PEPFAR. It's a President's Emergency Response to the AIDS epidemic. And it recently celebrated its 20th anniversary. And it was incredibly controversial 20 plus years ago. And even Christians were really timid about talking or discussing these things. But thankfully, there were pastors and Christians and churches that began to put their weight behind it. And that one bill, the PEPFAR bill, over its 20 years, has helped save about 22 to 24 million lives, mostly in the continent of Africa. And so this is a small glimpse of what happens when people can work together. And one more thing that I'll just say, the reason why it's bipartisan and Bread seeks to embody that spirit is that hunger is not a partisan issue. It impacts every community, every age, children, teenagers, college students, seniors, veterans, rural, urban, regardless of what one's political affiliation or inclination, hunger impacts everyone. And that's the reason why we are urging members of Congress to do their part to empathize, to understand evidence-based research, and to do what we can to end hunger in our nation and to make a big dent around the world.
Have this belief like, well, hunger's always been there, it will always be there. And so we don't put emphasis on it. And I think that is unfortunately very true, that because it's something that maybe doesn't affect us personally, we don't understand the gravity of it. But like you mentioned, it affects millions of children around the world. But I think some people will hear you say this and still just think you're being optimistic. So why do you think we actually can in this crisis? Like personally, why do you believe that it is something that we can really address and really do something about?
Yeah. So, first I go back to where the source of my hope comes from. I am a follower of Jesus Christ. I love Jesus. I desire to embody the kingdom of God. And so to be a Christ follower means to be a person of hope. Hope that's not rooted in politicians, political parties, but hope that is rooted in Christ alone. And when I examine and study and ruminate on the words and the life and the teachings, on the very embodiment of who Jesus is, we know that he comes to give us a glimpse of the full, whole gospel, that Jesus saves. And in addition to that beautiful news that Jesus saved us from our sins and introduces us to God, our Savior, we're also introduced that Jesus cares about this world. He cares about people. Remember the feeding of the multitudes of the people. He has compassion, not just on their souls as he teaches them, but he also has compassion on their bodies. He cares that they're nourished and fed. This is the reason why I think the metaphor and the analogy and the image of food is woven throughout Scripture, that God cares that his people are fed. And so it's a justice issue, it's a mercy issue, it's a compassion issue.
That was Eugene Cho. You can find out more about their work at bread.org. All right, stay tuned. Up next, it's Worship or Wooing. You're listening to Child. It's Child with like 3 eyes. The song is Antidote.
Well, today's podcast is brought to you in part by the new book, Confessions of a Christian Alcoholic. Author Jonathan Seidel knows firsthand how even believers can get stuck in shame and destructive habits, especially when it comes to one of society's biggest obsessions, alcohol. In Confessions of a Christian Alcoholic, he details his spiral into disordered drinking and shares the 4-step process he eventually used to break free. There's hope for alcoholics who become Christians and for Christians who become alcoholics. Find Confessions of a Christian Alcoholic wherever books are sold. What if you could change a child's life with just $10? Right now, thousands of vulnerable children in East Africa are suffering from jiggers. It's a painful, preventable parasite that burrows into their feet. Soul Hope is the only organization treating it through foot washing, medical care, and durable closed-toed shoes that protect kids long after treatment. $10 may not seem like much in today's world, but when we come together, those small gifts add up to big change. Join the 10 for 10 campaign. $10 protects 10 small toes. Visit soulhope.org/10 to give now. One small gift makes a big difference. Again, that's soulhope, SOLE, hope.org/TEN. Okay, it's time for
Worship or wooing.
See that lovely jingle that Jason made. Jason, you found a friend to do that's not you singing, is that right?
Not at all. No. It's a lovely young lady.
I was like, you have a lovely singing voice. Lovely.
Very soulful. Yeah.
Very soulful. Anyway, all right, it's time for Worship or Wooing. If you heard last Tuesday's episode, we played this game because it was Valentine's Day and we had fun with this, so we're bringing it back. What we're going to do is I'm going to read a lyric and you will have to tell me if this lyric comes from a love song or a worship song. So it's pretty straightforward. Here we go. Round 1. Emily's playing instead of Jamie this week. All right, here's Derek, you're up first. Here's the lyric. I'm desperate for you. I'm lost without you.
That's a worship song.
That's a worship song.
the best before you.
Yes, I am.
All right, Jesse, you are up. Here we go. As I feel your touch, you bring a freedom to all that's within.
That could go either way. And I'm
That's the whole
disturbed.
point of the game.
And I'm disturbed to say this because I'm not sure what the implications are. But I think this is a romantic song.
It is a worship song. The song is Pour Out My Heart by Matt Redman.
You bring a freedom to all that's within in the safety of this place.
Yeah.
All right, Emily, you're up. Here we go. Everywhere I'm looking now, I'm surrounded by your embrace.
It's so hard because you also read them so monotone, Cameron. So I don't know.
Yeah.
That's
like,
the point.
I know, but I'm saying like the lyrics already are like Jesse said, like it could go either way. In my heart, though, I think that might be
Surrounded by your embrace.
a romantic song.
Everywhere I'm looking now, I'm surrounded by your embrace. Baby, I can feel your hand.
All right. Round one's over. Derek and Emily have 1. Jesse has 0. Round 2 is worth 2 points each. All right, Derek, here we go. Now it's time to free me from the shame. I got to find that peace. Is it too late?
Yeah, we're going to love song. That's too, that's, yeah, we're going to love song.
Now it's time to free me from the shame. I gotta find that peace. Is it too late or cold?
Yeah, I was going to say that's too much of a layup for that to be a worship song.
Yeah. A little bait and switch there. All right, Jesse, you're up. I don't believe in fairy tales. I guess I've outgrown them.
Oh, that's got to be a love song.
I don't believe in fairy tales. I guess I've outgrown them.
Grammy award-winning worship song.
I'm uncomfortable. They brought fairy tales into this. Okay, let's move on.
Emily, you're up. You are the one I've been waiting for, king of my heart, body, and soul.
It sounds like a romantic song, but I'm going to go with the opposite and say it's a worship song.
It is a love song, King of My Heart by Taylor Swift.
How dare you? How dare you, Emily?
Oh my gosh, I was thinking it was King of My Heart by Bethel. I think, or it's like Stephanie Gretzinger. So that's why, wow. Okay, we have to edit that. Make it sound like I said Taylor Swift. I
All right,
lost
round 3.
my Swiftie status.
Derek 3, Jesse 0, Emily 1. This round is worth 3 points each. Derek, you're up first. Here we go. At first sight, I felt the energy of sun rays. I saw the life inside your eyes.
Jesus. Okay. I'm gonna go with love song because I don't know if anybody's looked God in the face in his eyes.
Love song. It is Diamonds by Rihanna. Holy cow, Derek is cleaning it up.
Like
He's leaving no crumbs on this game. Here we go.
I'm eating,
Jesse,
baby.
you're up.
I'm eating.
Okay.
Then you came along and put me back together, and every desire is now satisfied.
Oh, that's worship. Absolutely.
You came along and put me back together, and every desire is now satisfied.
I was gonna say that'd be a very unhealthy.
Here in your
All right, Emily, here you go. The day is brighter here with you. The night is lighter than its hue.
That is worship because I did grow up in the 2000s worship scene.
The day
I know that for a fact.
is brighter here with you. The night is lighter than its hue would lead me to believe.
All right, last round. 6 for Derek, 4 for Emily, 3 for Jesse. Last round's worth 5 points. Here we go. Derek, I'll give my all to you. You're my end and my beginning.
That sounds so toxic to be a love song.
Yeah, very codependent there.
But we're going to go love song.
I give my all to you. You're my end and my beginning.
I think he's dealing with some codependent issues, but we'll continue. Don't feel
Jesse,
Jesse,
I don't need to worry now that I know everything I need. You've got.
Again, I really hope it's worship.
I don't
It is Honey in the Rock by Brooke Ligertwood. All right. So Derek has 11. Jesse's got 8. Emily, you could come into second place if you get this right. Here we go. The way you hold me, hold me, hold me, hold me, feels so holy, 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 holy.
Now that is the Biebs. I do know that one.
That is the Biebs. You got it. It's a love song.
Feels so holy, 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 holy.
There you go. Final score. Derek wins it. 11, Emily 9, Jesse 8. That'll do it for round 2 of
Worship or wooing.
Well, before we wrap things up, I want to thank Eugene Cho for joining us. Like I mentioned, you can find out more about their work at Bread for the World at bread.org. Also, a couple of housekeeping notes. If you like the music you hear on the show, you can check out our Heard on the Relevant podcast playlist on Spotify. We have not only all the music you hear on the podcast, but we have a worship and indie and hip hop playlist as well that you can search up, and we keep updating it. We update the podcast one every week, but the other one's a couple times a month. They're good listens. Also, make sure to check out relevantmagazine.com. We're publishing stuff at the intersection of faith and culture every day. You don't want to miss it. Follow us on all the socials where we post all the new content. If you're not a social person, you can sign up for our newsletter right there on the front page. It's our top 5 trending stories every weekday morning. Just the cream of the crop, best stuff. Sign up for our newsletter there. And make sure to check out Relevant Plus. It's the best way to experience our content ad-free. You get some subscriber exclusives and a whole lot of ad-free content. There you go. You plan start as low as $2.50 a month, and you can find out more on the Relevant Plus tab at relevantmagazine.com. Okay, on that note, we'll wrap it. I'm Cameron Strang.
I'm Jesse Carey.
I'm Emily Brown. I'm so sorry, Taylor Swift.
I'm Derek Miner.
We will see you on Friday. Have a great week, everyone.
Thanks for listening to the Relevant Podcast. Check out our features, interviews, and news updates every day at relevantmagazine.com. And make sure to follow Relevant on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram for the latest. For more great podcasts, browse the shows on the Relevant Podcast Network, which you can find at our site. And while you're there, don't miss the all-new era of Relevant Magazine. A new issue releases every other month at relevantmagazine.com.
Listen, if candy's in my house, it's fair game, okay?
Relevant Podcast Network.